In November of 2018, Overkill released their next highly anticipated horde shooter, Overkill's The Walking Dead. A game based on one of the most popular TV shows and comics at the time, was taking another shot going into the video games after the flop of The Walking Dead's survival instincts. But where's the game now? Riding the success of Payday 2 and the TV show picking up speed with Season 8, this game should have easily topped Payday 2 in terms of popularity and sales. Instead, we have thousands still on Payday 2 and a sequel, Payday 3. So, what happened? How did a game like this with so much potential suddenly disappear without a trace? Well, that's what we're going to be diving into today, so please go ahead and join me on this journey as we look into Starbreeze's Payday intro, Payday 3, Raid World War II, The Walking Dead VR game. One of their biggest flops. But before we do that, if you are interested in horde shooter content like me, my name is Juby, and welcome to the Horde Shooter channel, where we talk about anything and everything horde shooter related. If you are interested in this type of content, please go ahead and check out the memberships down below, and subscribe. We're trying to hit 1,000 subs by 2026. So if you're into that type of content, why not subscribe and join the memberships below. To figure out what happened, we need to go back. Announced in August of 2014, Overkill released the first trailer of Overkill's The Walking Dead. The trailer actually got mixed reviews due to the hype of Payday 2 and the disaster of Raid World War II a year ago. The game was going to be more based on the comics of The Walking Dead, so no playing as Daryl, Michonne, Rick. Just like Payday 2, this game was going to be focused on cooperative gameplay, featuring 4 characters with each got their own character trailer leading up to the game, all with their own unique skills and abilities, all set in a post-apocalyptic DC overran by walkers. From what I understand, the game was mostly focused on stealth, as if you'd made too much noise firing weapons or running around, you would actually alert the horde upon you. Kinda like GTFO. It was an objective-based horde shooter with each mission being objectives, and you would do these objectives every time you did this mission, but with multiple paths for stealth and combat. You had characters that you select and would actually mean something, as they would each have a skill system for each character. Aiden was balanced, Heather was medic abilities, Grant was a sniper, and Maya had scavenging perks. Hang on, this kind of sounds like another Overkill game.
What if I told you that there was another Payday-like game that was
For fuck's sake, I can't escape that fucking game! The core aspect of this game absolutely focused on stealth because ammo was limited. I was gonna say kinda like the show, but
tiger!
I never understood how Rick Grimes could find so many 357 rounds for his iconic Colt Python in the South, but what do I know? Melee combat was slightly better than Payday 2 since the focus on combat was switched from guns to melee, but not as solid as Darktide from what I can see. Overkill was never known for melee combat in any of their games that I'm aware of, so it was basically taking a shit, but it was green to show you were healthier instead of the normal ground. That's how I would explain the melee combat, honestly. The game also had a hub area that I swear Back 4 Blood got the idea from, but they still did it worse than this game because you could actually do stuff at your hub and not just talk to people. You could upgrade the facilities and recruit NPC survivors and assign them the jobs for passive rewards while you were out doing the missions. There is also a morale system which would affect your long-term success. Very minimal, but minimal is better than nothing. Enemy types in this game were the classic walkers from the show. Slow and weak alone, deadly in a pack. We're just either heavily armored or faster, and of course, the human enemies with guns. That was it for the enemy types because, well, the early seasons of The Walking Dead. That is basically the premise of the game. Doing the same handful of missions, defend a point, fetch some supplies, and then escape. The combat obviously felt very sluggish with it being an Overkill game. Slightly better than Payday 2's, but that's not really saying much when it comes to melee. The AI was also atrocious from what I saw in reviews, and as someone who played Raid World War II, I completely get what they were saying, as that game's AI I thought was worse than Payday the Heist. As well as difficulty spiking, where the game would be so easy it's a cakewalk, and then it would suddenly become the hardest game you have ever played. If I had to guess, this was because of the horde system. The louder you are, the harder it got, but the quieter you are, the more boring it was. The game clearly had its problems, but so did Payday 2 and now Payday 3. did at launch, but this game was straight up abandoned. I gave up on actually being able to play it, but then I literally found it on the Internet Archive of all fucking places. This one got canned really quick because of what happened during development. Overkill was on a high after the success of Payday 2, basically saving Starbreeze and Overkill from bankruptcy, but because of Payday 2's success, it led to this game's downfall. You see, the CEO of Overkill and Starbreeze, Bo Anderson, decided to start pushing big projects for a relatively small developer company. He greenlit The Walking Dead, Payday 2 updates and DLC, Raid World War II, and 2 VR projects, The Walking Dead VR and Gemini Heroes Reborn, all basically at the same fucking time. This spread the developers way too thin, not giving enough polish to anything. The 2 VR games were quickly forgotten, Raid World War II was an instant flop, and The Walking Dead game, well, we are talking about it now, aren't we? The biggest reason for The Walking Dead game died is definitely because of Bo Anderson, but one of the decisions they made 2 years into development of Overkill's The Walking Dead was being made on the Diesel engine, the same as Payday 2 and Raid. However, due to the huge limitations of the Diesel engine being old and not friendly to consoles, Bo decided 2 years later into development that the team would make the game in Unreal Engine 4, which Overkill had never used before. Many things in the Diesel engine were not transferable to Unreal Engine 4, which means 2 years of labor and assets were completely erased, and the team had to start from basically the beginning again. Even though the team had to restart, they were not given any extra time. Bo insisted on a late 2018 release date, despite knowing the game was not fucking ready at all, basically giving the team a year to learn a new engine and redo everything up to the point until they decided to switch. Crunch time was insane and basically unheard of that time with the amount that Overkill's development team had to do. They needed the money really badly after switching engines, wasting hundreds of thousands of dollars up to this point. Once the game came out and everyone could see all the issues we talked about before, because the game came out so badly, the creator of The Walking Dead himself, Robert Kirkman, pulled the deal with Starbreeze less than 4 months after release, realizing Bo Anderson essentially sabotaged it with his ambitions. This failure was so bad that Bo was outed as the CEO by the board shortly after the game was launched. The game was then pulled from Steam very quickly, and the console release was scrapped entirely. Overkill's The Walking Dead had insane promise. The show was, and still is, a huge hit, and this could have been a live service game that could have lasted as long as GTA Online. But because of leadership failures and the CEO himself making insane decisions, this game was soon forgotten in the horde shooter category, and it's a damn shame. The Walking Dead has not been lucky when it comes to video games. Don't get me wrong, Saints and Sinners 1 and 2 and the Telltale games are the outliers, but when it comes to action-adventure or horde fighting, it can't seem to catch a break. If you want the drama of people with some zombies sprinkled in, then the Walking Dead TV show and comics still seems to be the only place that you will find these in the entertainment industry at this time. Also, now Rick, Daryl, and Michonne are in Dead by Daylight now. Thank you guys so much for watching this video on Overkill's The Walking Dead, a game that I honestly think would have had huge potential, and the people who did play it at the time also agreed that this could have been something amazing. Unfortunately, with Bo Anderson at the head of it, and Overkill just doing too many things at once, and that switching engines halfway through your development cycle is insane to me. I can't believe they thought that was going to work out. You can still play this game, like I said. I found it on the Internet Archive and tried it out, and it worked. And, like, I can see the potential, and it's really a damn shame about all of this. But, alas, The Walking Dead has not been easy when it comes to transferring to video games. The latest Walking Dead game has made that very clear. If you guys liked the video, please go ahead and like and subscribe this, and don't forget to check out the memberships for the YouTube channel below. For just a couple dollars a month, you can help me make more videos, get early access to videos, and get access to a private session of my JSGI Discord server. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all next week.